I rejected Man transfer, I could still end up calling Marcus Rashford my teammate? Christian Pulisic famously snubbed a move to Old Trafford in favor of Chelsea back in 2019. However, he could find himself playing with Marcus Rashford in the near future at a different club. Christian Pulisic snubbed a move to Manchester United in 2019, but he may soon end up playing alongside one of the club's biggest stars. USA international Pulisic was the target of numerous Premier League clubs in the January transfer window 6 years ago, with the Red Devils and Chelsea among those with hopes of bringing the now 26-year-old to the English top flight. And while Pulisic could have ended up in the Northwest had fate had other plans, he snubbed Old Trafford in favor of Stamford Bridge. Pulisic was reportedly put off the managerial style of Portuguese mastermind Jose Mourinho at the time, and there were presumptions that he wasn't willing to utilize younger players. Speaking to The Telegraph in 2019, Robin Walker, who has remained close to Pulisic since he coached him in his youth at Brackley Town, explained, "I'm a Chelsea fan. I grew up in London supporting them. When I was in Dortmund last year, I told him that he had to come. He wouldn't go to Manchester United because of Jose Mourinho. His father couldn't stand Mourinho because he didn't promote young players. It was at that point I asked, what about London? That's where it's at. I was trying to sell the city." His agent agreed, saying, "When you make these decisions, it's all about investment and property." I was delighted that he did sign. Instead of linking up with the likes of Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Paul Pogba, Pulisic tried to fill the void left by Eden Hazard at Chelsea following the Belgian's mega-money move to Real Madrid. The winger scored 26 goals and created 19 assists for the Blues across 145 appearances, but ultimately failed to fill the shoes of the ever-impressive Hazard. He made a £20 million move to AC Milan in July 2023 and has impressed under Stefano Pioli, Paulo Fonseca, and Sergio Conceição ever since. And while he wasn't given the opportunity to play on the same side as Rashford during his Premier League days, the two men could soon link up at the San Siro. That's because Rashford's representatives have held talks with Milan regarding a potential loan move for the Manchester United forward. Rashford's future in the Northwest has been uncertain for some time now, with the 27-year-old, who has spent the entirety of his professional career at United, facing criticism over his body language and inconsistent performances. Rashford also broke rank last month to declare that he is ready to leave the club and take on a new challenge. The England star said, "I'm halfway through my career. I don't expect my peak to be now. I've had 9 years so far in the Premier League, and that's taught me a lot. That's helped me grow as a player and as a person. So I don't have any regrets from the last 9 years." Dwayne Maynard, Rashford's brother and agent, reportedly flew to Milan on Tuesday to hold discussions with the head of recruitment for the Serie A side. However, Pulisic himself could prove problematic towards Rashford's success with the outfit, as well as a highly rated Rafael Leao who plays on the left. Pulisic predominantly plays on the right but can play behind the striker or on the left, and would no doubt command a place in the starting up over Rashford on current form. However, Milan is currently looking like the 27-year-old's most likely destination, having already turned down 3 mega-money offers believed to be worth £35 million from Saudi Arabian clubs. Elsewhere, The Athletic reports that Borussia Dortmund are interested in exploring the possibility of bringing in Rashford until the end of the season. The Bundesliga giants have previously revitalized Jadon Sancho's career, as he was in a similar position to Rashford in that he was struggling for game time. Sancho shone back at the German club, which ended up earning him a summer switch to Chelsea, where he has continued to impress. Pep Guardiola raved about me. Now I could join Man Ud in a January swap deal. Pep Guardiola has got little wrong as manager of Manchester City, but a player he let go could be on the verge of joining Manchester United in January. Douglas Luiz could be on his way to Manchester United in an audacious swap deal that would see Joshua Zirkzee move to Juventus, 5.5 years after Pep Guardiola allowed the Brazilian to leave Manchester City. Luiz, 26, has endured a torrid season ever since he swapped Aston Villa for the Italian giants last summer. It now appears Juve boss Thiago Motta is willing to part with the Brazilian international and may use him in a curious swap deal that could see the Dutchman Zirkzee head to the old lady. Like Luiz, Zirkzee has struggled to acclimatize to his new environment, but still retains admirers back in Serie A, where he starred during Bologna's historic season, which saw them qualify for the Champions League. The only point of concern for both players is that there are many moving parts to such a deal, particularly at Old Trafford, where Kobbie Mainoo, 19, also faces an uncertain future. If Luiz was to move to the red side of Manchester, Guardiola may likely watch on in regret from the blue half. Were it not for a complication in his work permit, Luiz could currently be at the heart of City's midfield. In the summer of 2017, City signed him from Vasco da Gama when he was only 20. City immediately loaned him to Girona so he could gain some first-team experience. When he returned, he did not automatically qualify for a work permit, meaning City had to apply for an exemption to be made. Because Luiz only started one match during his initial loan with Girona, the UK Home Office did not think he had played enough football to earn one. As Guardiola fumed to himself, Luiz was sent on loan to Girona again in 2018. Villa were impressed by his displays in Spain and signed him from City for £15 million. Looking back on the frustrating work permit incident the following year, Guardiola said, "He would be here if the work permit had been possible. The work permit was not possible, so loan, and now he's at Aston Villa. I think we have an option to bring him back. But sometimes life is like this. We wanted him because in the last season we had a problem in that position because we didn't buy a holding midfielder in the last 3 or 4 seasons. Douglas Luiz, we thought about that. But with the rules in England with the work permit, it was not possible. So that's why, or I think he would have been here. He played in the preseason last season in the United States, and he was really good. I think he has the quality to play with us, but he could not do that. If Mainoo were to leave United, it is understood Luiz would be an ideal replacement. According to the Mail, Mainoo has been linked with a move to Chelsea, as he is yet to agree a new contract at Old Trafford. While his current deal, which also includes the option to extend by a further 12 months, does not expire until 2027, it was believed that new terms recognizing his status as a first-team regular and an England international were to be drawn up. Moreover, the report claims the current trajectory of the club is also a concern to the teenager who wants to be playing in the Champions League. As well as Mainoo, his midfield colleague Casemiro has also been strongly linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, while Christian Eriksen is not seen as a long-term option. It would be easy to see where Luiz would fit in if he were to swap Turin for Manchester. Ruben Amorim offers first-team chance to £500,000 Man United signing after transfer decision. Ruben Amorim is poised to bring Ella Harrison into the fold after recalling the Manchester United goalkeeper from his loan spell in non-league where he played at Chester. Manchester United have recalled 3 goalkeepers from loan spells and plan to use Ella Harrison as part of the first-team squad. The shot-stoppers had all headed elsewhere to get regular minutes, but have since been brought back to Old Trafford ahead of what could be a very active month for the club, who are open to bids for any player in an effort to raise funds. Harrison had been on loan in non-league with Chester. The 18-year-old kept 9 clean sheets in 23 appearances and is expected to work around the first-team squad while playing for the under-21s, reports the Daily Mail. The teenager is highly thought of and cost the Premier League side £500,000 when they signed him from Stevenage. He's had first-team exposure in the past, with Harrison featuring in the squad across several preseason friendlies back in the summer, although he wasn't part of the US tour. United could see movement in between the sticks through January. Andre Onana is the club's number 1, but beyond him, there are decisions to make, with understudy Altay Bayindir still seeing his minutes limited, while Ruben Amorim is not convinced by the Turk, who was beaten from a corner in the Carabao Cup loss to Tottenham last month. The new man in the dugout now wants a shot stopper who can push the Cameroonian, with Bayindir not regarded as credible competition. The other keepers recalled by the Manchester are Tom Worcester from Farsley Celtic and Tom Miles from Runcorn Linnets, but they appear below Harrison in the pecking order. Doors could be about to open for several young players on the red half of Manchester as the club consider cashing in on some of their prized assets. It is understood that young stars Kobbie Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund are now expendable, despite having been deemed untouchable under Ten Hag. As well as those 3 stars, the club would be open to serious offers for any of Amorim's squad, with no player off limits this month. Mainu and Garnacho are considered homegrown players, having come through the United Academy, so would be particularly valuable sales in the age of profit and sustainability rules.